No longer pawns in their game of charade. Let's find our own path and not be swayed. I feel like I'm surrounded with people with strings attached to their back, waiting for their master's command. Horses don't grow, karma just catches. In the shadows we see a love so pure and meek, but all this truly exists. But all we find are mere reflections of what loved ones kissed. Amidst the ruins of our hearts, we search for something real. Yet all we grasp are faded echoes of what used to appeal. In this world where love has become just a commodity to steal. It's just a little food for thought. In the face of darkness, I stand tall and strong. With faith as my shield, I'll keep marching on. You may try to bring me down. You may try to... Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble evening. Continue to have a blessed and humble day. This y'all, shorty Rachel. I want to welcome y'all to the Writers for Life Brings You the Let's Talk About It podcast. As y'all can see, right? We got this topic going on today, right? It's everybody's talking about it, right? Zesty versus messy. That's my title. That's the way I put it, right? We are going to be talking about unfiltered, right? Online, right? When emotions meet expression. So our first conversation, right? Well, my first topic, my bad, is going to be competitive moms, right? There are a lot of moms out here, right, that are very competitive, right? Why? I cannot seem to answer that question, right? But my question is, right, why do moms, right, that don't want help and right, and take their anger on their kids think they're better than other moms? They're always in competition. Like, this is something that I am noticing out here, right? I don't know what the problem is. I don't know when, 2019 hit and, the pandemic happened, a couple people, I guess took the jab in the head. It kind of like, discombobulated their brain cells or something, right? Because, shit is just crazy, right? I don't understand why is it, right, that there's moms out here that think, right? I mean, listen, I don't even argue with these moms no more, right? You're constantly calling your daughter, right? Those that have daughters, you're constantly calling your daughter a bitch. From the day she comes out that womb, right? She's an itch this, she's an itch that. Like, that's constant. Let me ask you a question. Like, I just want to know, right? And I'm not going to make this topic very long. I'm just going to, express what I think, what I feel, right? Maybe bring some solutions to the table if we can, right? No, listen, if the shoe fits, wear that itch, right? If it doesn't apply, let this shit fly. Because a lot of people have a habit of, oh man, I'm here. Like, damn, did I strike a nerve? I didn't even know I was talking about you. See where I'm coming? So this is not the channel for you. If you get in your emotions, right? The door's right there. Just make sure the doorknob doesn't hit you with a good little split you. So let's get this topic started, right? What do you think, right? What do you think drives some moms to resist help and project their frustrations, right? Could it be deeper insecurities or societal pressures, right, to be perfect? Like, is it something deep, right? Could it be insecurities, or could it be that they have to, portray to be a certain person, right? When it comes to their kids in front of society, right? Do they have societal pressures, right, for them to be perfect? Do they feel the need to be perfect in front of others, right? And can't accept? Do you consider that the moms that cannot accept that they're mentally abusing their kids or physically abusing their kids narcissists? Those moms that'll sit here and talk bad to their kids and sit here and do things to their kids that they, in their heads is not abuser, but it'll sit here and criticize another mother that is doing what she is supposed to do. Like, my biggest question is, could that be, could it be deeper insecurities or societal pressures for them to be perfect, right? I mean, I'm just exploring the roots a little bit, right? The impact of family dynamic, right? Let's explore that a little bit, right? It's the impact of family dynamics, right? How do y'all think a mother's competitive behavior and anger towards her children affect the family environment? What do you observe in these dynamics, right? I feel as though, right, I don't know, man. For real, there's like, listen, I'm going to sit here and tell you that a lot of men feel bad for these type of moms. I wouldn't sit here and feel bad, right? Because that gets you, like, you ever heard about, the boy turn, how is it? Good girl turns, bad girl turns good boy, bad, then good boy turns good girl, bad, and how the cycle goes. It kind of, it's, I don't understand why men put themselves in these type of predicaments with these toxic women, because a lot of them trying to be Captain Save-A-Holes end up behind bars. I understand why a lot of men nowadays, they be like, damn, man, I fucked up. And this is why I constantly say, right, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, you're going to have to start doing the research, right? Listen, do that background check on the female you're going to park your garage in, right? Park your garage in. You see what I'm saying? Park your car in, her garage in. Listen, do your research. You never know how toxic this female is until, you in bed with her already, planted your seed in her. And this seed is growing and you're having issues. And what's crazy is, right, a lot of these females that tend to do this, right, that are competitive with other females, right? Don't even let the baby daddy in the picture because, oh, I could do this, I could do that. But they're frustrated all the time. They are so frustrated. And my thing is, right, they got support systems, but they don't want to accept it. They don't want to take it. Can you feel bad for mothers that are like this? Me personally, no. I cannot stand a mother that behaves like this. You're sitting here, how can I say it? First of all, there is no respectful relationship between you and your child. How can you, expect to be respected by any man or anybody outside in society, whether it's online, offline? You see where I'm coming from? If you don't respect yourself, you don't even respect your kid. You see where I'm coming from? I don't get tired of saying this, right? The way you talk to your kids should not be the way you talk with your friends. The conversations between you and your kids, in these conversations, right, with you and your daughter, if you have a daughter, it should not start off with bitch this, bitch that. There's no way in hell that mothers out here should be calling their daughters out their names. You gave them a name the day they came out that womb. Probably took you months, weeks, days probably to figure out the name you was going to give her. So I really think it's highly disrespectful for a mother, right, to sit here and call their child out of the name and then expect for their child to not do the same thing, not realizing that these kids out here mimic what we do. In y'all experiences, why might some moms feel the need to prove they're better than others? Does comparing themselves to other moms serve a deeper purpose in society nowadays with these moms? Why is it that a lot of moms feel the need to be in competition with other moms? Oh, I'm better than you at this. Like, wait, ain't nobody in competition with you. I'm not even beefing with you. And that's what's crazy. Moms like that cause a lot of tension, amongst people around themselves in communities. And what's crazy is a lot of, moms like that end up, burning bridges. Does the behavior of these moms, right, can it cause an impact in their children's life? Could their daughters end up mimicking their same behavior or doing the same thing as they get older? We all got options when we grow up, right? But what's crazy is I do notice that when, kids get older, they do end up, how can I say it, imitating the actions of their parents. They end up being them somehow, some way. And I'm not saying that this is for everybody. I'm just talking in general, right? What impact do y'all believe, right, a constant sense of competition among moms has on parents and community support? And do y'all think that there's a stigma around accepting help as a mom? How might embracing vulnerability, right, change the way that we view competition among mothers? I feel as though that there should be no competition among no mother out here, right? Every child is going to love their mother individually, no matter what the mom does, how the mom behaves. You see where I'm coming from? Like, that child is going to love that mom, right? As long as this mom loves them back, gives them respect, does what she's got to do as a mother. That's tragic. So it's up to the parent, right, on how they raise their kids, right, on how their kids is going to treat them back as they get older. And listen, you can be the best parent. Sometimes, there comes a point in time, right, where the kids go through a phase and they shout out, ooh, disrespect. You got to put them in their place. Real shit. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second. We'll get right back on the topic. Let me see something.
In this world of blame and shame, we point fingers, we play the game. But as our children cry in fear, we turn the blind eye, we shed no tears. Believe our women, they say, while our kids are led astray. Lost in darkness, lost in pain, yet their cries fall silent like the rain. It's a shame how far we've come, blaming all the men playing dumb. But our children need us near to wipe their tears and calm their fears. In this land of the free, water's a commodity for you and me. Can't you see? It's not fair, it's plain to see. People struggling to pay for something they need every day. In America where we say we're free, but water shouldn't come at a fee. A shorty just speaking in general about the things that seem so small. This ain't meant towards everyone, just a cry in the dark. In America where water is marked. Brothers and sisters, hear my plea. This is not about you or me. Our kids are the future, they hold the key. Wake up before we're met with defeat. In this world of chaos and strife, we must guide them to a better life. Teach them love, compassion, and light, so they can lead us out of this endless night. Let's unite as one strong force. For our children, let's stay on course. Together we can make a change and secure a better future in exchange. Y'all should have listened the first time they let the cat out the hat. Now it's a crime. Many are falling into a trap, thinking it's a game, but they full of cap. Some are ready and fully strapped, while others keep falling into the gap. The warning signs were clear as day, but some chose not to heed what they say. Now the consequences come to light. Those who ignored are in for a fight. Listen close and learn from this mishap. Don't be caught unaware, don't fall into the trap. From the wisdom of my elders, I learned women are strong, independent, and firm. But sometimes we need a helping hand to conquer challenges and make a stand. Independence is crucial, that's true. Yet together, with a man, we can pursue. Respect yourself first and foremost, so others will treat you like the most. Ladies, growing up, remember this advice. You're capable of anything you devise. But partnership and respect go hand in hand. Embrace your strength and make a stand. Memories of the past I couldn't see, now I understand. The wisdom they gave me, respect yourself first, that's the key. To earn respect from others is how it should be. A man's worth measured by how he treats his queen. Love and romance in the air, a beautiful scene. A woman's power to uplift or demean. In her hands lies a man's dream. Lessons learned from an OG so true. In matters of the heart, they know what to do. Love and respect intertwined like glue. In a world where old-fashioned values still ring through. Peter Pan, Peter Pan, Peter Pan was a fairy tale. Now males want to be females without fail. Women want to be a man, it's a twisted tale. Flipping scripts and roles, they set sail. Fighting for roles, turning to moles. Making hits with their agenda goals. Targeting our kids, it takes a toll. To them it's a bliss, to us it's a black hole. They ain't trying to miss. Their agenda is the ultimate twist. Infiltrating young minds with their list, but we won't let them persist. I'm with women's rights, but what about men's too? Equality for all, it's long overdue. We want progress, we need to see both sides. Blame and shame won't help us unite. Don't label him a deadbeat without looking in the mirror. Sometimes it takes two to create rupture. Let's have conversations that include everyone. Empathy and understanding, the battles can be won. Men face struggles too, let's not forget. Their mental health matters, let's not neglect. It's time to break down walls and build bridges instead. Together we can strive for equality ahead. You scream for the police every time he come around. Then scream child support abuse, playing victim in this town. Enjoy that check, boo, but remember what goes up must come down. The only time he's worthy is when he bails you out the mess you found. You play the game, manipulating hearts without a doubt, but karma's knocking at your door, there's no way out. You point fingers and shift the blame around, but in the end, it's your own chaos that you found. You dance with danger, living on the edge of lies, but the truth will catch up to you, no more disguise. The man you rely on to clean up your mess is so profound, will soon see through your facade and leave you astounded. Using a child as a weapon, it's a shame. A woman who lacks self-respect, I can't acclaim. Real men fighting for what they believe in, never in vain. Standing 10 toes down, bringing awareness to the pain. Respect is earned by how you carry yourself, not by tearing others down for personal wealth. Real men don't back down, they fight with honor and stealth against injustice and falsehoods that threaten our health. Let's uplift each other instead of tearing apart, supporting one another from the start. Real men stand tall with courage in their heart, fighting for justice and truth, playing their part. Here's for the men who share their truth, never afraid to stand tall in their boots, respecting our women, fighting for what's right, supporting our kids day and night. Real women out there blazing trails, men by their side never looking pale. Rights for all, let's keep the balance true. Men have a voice, let's listen to. In this crazy world where battles are fought, let's remember the men who give it all they've got. Respect to those who speak their stories loud. Together we stand strong and proud. Together we stand, united we'll rise, setting an example for young eyes. In every step we take, in every plan, guiding the next generation's hand. Leading by actions, not just by words, teaching them to fly like birds. Showing love and respect in all we do, for they're always watching, taking cues. Hand in hand, let's pave the way for a better tomorrow, starting today. Our children learn from what they see. Let's show them how great they can be. Let's be what our children need.
My bad, guys. Let's get back on with the questions. I do apologize, right? I think the last question that I had was, let me see, I'm going to start over with this one, my bad. How do you think a mother's competitive behavior and anger towards her children affect the family environment? What do you observe in these dynamics? My bad. In your experience, why might some moms feel the need to prove they're better than others? Does comparing themselves to other moms serve a deeper purpose? What impact do you believe a constant sense of competition among moms has on parenting and community support? Do y'all feel as though that this is something, oh, my bad, I do apologize. There's somebody out there coughing. I do apologize for that, right? Do y'all believe that there's some way, some form that, within the community, moms can support each other in this situation? But I feel as though when, certain moms try to help out moms that are going through a struggle but don't want the help, they end up, getting knives pinned in their back. So it's kind of like a touchy situation. It's like you telling them, man, yo, you don't want to go say that. You're going to be a Captain Saberhole, and, but do y'all think that there's a stigma around accepting help as a mom? How might embracing vulnerability, right, change the way that we view competition among other mothers? Do y'all feel as though that, not just the moms that are, right, how can I say, refusing the help from the father or society or from, the community itself, right, are the only moms that are sitting here, how can being angry, toxic? And is there a way that we could change that? Is the moms that are not toxic also in competition with other mothers, or is it just the toxic moms? My bad. How much of this competitive mindset do you think is influenced by societal expectations of motherhood? Are we all set up for this struggle from the start? I don't think we're all set up for the struggle from the start. Do you think that society has an impact on the way moms view themselves or are in competition with each other, boss man?
I'm probably
I said, do you think that society, right, has an impact on the reason why moms are in competition with each other?
Society or social media?
I would say both, because that's why it's called society. That's why they call it societal impact, because it includes both.
I'm put you like this: real mothers, old school mothers, they're not worried about what society or social media think. They trying to raise their kids the best of their ability, the best they know how. Because when raising a kid don't come in no manual, they're not worried about what the next person doing. They worry about what they're really doing. That's a true parent, mother or father. They're not worried about the next person. They worry about what they got to do for theirs.
So what do you think makes these moms be in competition, the ones that don't get their way and they take out their anger on their kids?
Without expectation, them thinking one thing when it's another. It's a lot of reasons.
Do you think they could overcome that? Like
some can, some can't. It's all about the maturity level, they intellectual thought capacity and maturity of growth.
All right. You think a mother that's in her mid-30s going to her 40s that is still toxic like that and takes her anger out. Somebody did this to her, doesn't matter who it is, whether it's family, actually, whether it's family or society, and she takes her anger out on her kids, and she refuses the help from the father.
She better.
You think that she'll change?
If she's already grown, some people set in their ways, and kids don't change people. People gotta change people.
So, do you believe that when the community sees abuse, when she takes out her anger towards the kids, should they step in or should they step out?
It's hard now because try to step in with somebody now, fuck around, get your head blown up, get into a fight. Just by trying to tell them, listen, hey, you're doing it the wrong way, you do it this way, you do it that way. It ain't the same no more.
Facts.
Before you can tell a parent, hey, listen, chill, don't do that. Because back then, parents didn't do the shit these parents do nowadays anyway. So it's a big difference.
So it's a touchy. See, this is a touchy subject, but are conversations that are actually needed, and that's why we got this podcast here, man. And there's no filters in our mouths, no hairs in our tongues, man. And listen, for those of y'all that are willing to, get the discussion going, I'm willing to listen. Like, what suggestions do y'all have? What solutions do y'all have? What advice do y'all got from others out there that are willing to take it? What are some effective strategies you've seen or experienced that help moms shift from competing with one another to supporting each other? Do y'all believe that we're in a time where we can get more mothers to come together instead of being in competition? I'm better than you at this. I can do this better than you. Or, you're not a good mom because, you live in a house that is not put together. It's not fixed up. Look how ugly your walls is. You see where I'm coming from? Like, oh, you got a broken bathroom. You broke. Is that, some moms, live from check to check and they're able to just pay the bills. They have to sit here, save up money, get their houses fixed. But this one got, a good house. Section 8 gave it to her. You see where I'm coming from? She's paying a little bit of rent, right? Okay, she could be a little bit on top right now. But because she's doing a little better than this one, money-wise, she thinks she's on top of the world, then wants to bring this mom down. Like, there are moms here that, think that, oh, I'm getting this, forgetting, that what goes up must come down. Especially when you are sitting here abusing your kids, you're not paying attention to them, you're neglecting them. Yeah, what goes up must come down. There's no reason why mothers should be in competition out here. You see where I'm coming from? I feel as though like a lot of moms are trying to fit the role of fathers. I'm better. I got a bigger dick than you. Real shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Right? Have y'all ever experienced or witnessed this dynamic in your community? What was the situation and how did y'all resolve it? Or how do you think it could have been handled differently? Right? I would love to hear your opinion, your perspectives down below, right? Let's get this discussion started, right? Now, another one, right? I said, I don't think, let me check real quick. Let me check real quick because I don't think, I don't think anybody's in the chat right now. So I'm not wrong. Oh shit, I can't even see the comments right now. Blessings BDGBP. You got a ranch. You can also leave your link. I'm not sure if you're still here, but you can leave your link down below for people to go check you out. Guys, anybody tuning in, right? BDGP, he has a channel. He makes beats. I know he having the beats tournaments and competition and stuff like that. He has a very great channel. He also brings up great topics and conversations. So make sure y'all go check him out. Shout out to BGP, right? But guys, on that note, right, that's all I wanted to say, right, when it comes to the competitive moms. We want, and it also draws into the topic when emotions, right, meet expression. Like for those of y'all that missed it, y'all can rewind back, right, catch the replay and answer the questions that a shorty has, right? Let's see what type of solutions we could bring to the table when it comes to this topic on competitive moms, right? Once again, that leads into the topic when emotions meet expression. Now we're going to get into messy versus zesty, right? This is crazy, right? Like, what do y'all consider to be people that are messy online, right? Let me tell y'all this, right? I could tell y'all that I am active on so many social media platforms, and I truly love hearing the stories that people share about overcoming their struggles, right? And demons. It's inspiring to see their resilience But what deeply pains me is, right, the way people disrespect, the way disrespect has, become almost how can I say habitual. It's become like a hobby, both online and offline. People demand respect without putting in the effort, right, to earn it. And some even go as far as wishing harm, including sexual assault on others and minors, as if, right, how can I say it? As if it's some kind of, twisted game. It is, to me, it's heartbreaking to see how easily they forget, right, the reality of life, right, the fragility, right, in the existence of consequences, right, how coffins do exist. You see where I'm coming from, right? They forget about karma. People treat others, right, recklessly, not realizing who might come after them or how their actions could come back around. It's a cycle that needs to stop, but how can it be stopped? How can that cycle be stopped? To me, right, it's for me, it's really astonishing how people often fail to recognize the warning signs until it's too late, until the devil comes knocking at their door. Then suddenly they cry out for change. They cry out for help. They want some backup, right? But only when it's conveniently benefits, when it only conveniences them, right? When it benefits them, right? This is right, and this is the very dreams they seem to chase. We will never see true transformation, right? Unless we begin with ourselves. Instead of obsessing over other people's poxes, right? Or fixating on external circumstances, remember that your personal choice, what you consume and how you live, don't dictate the outcome for others. As individuals, we first have to get our own act together if we're ever going to genuinely help anybody else. And what's crazy is people on here, right? They talk about they want to help, they want to do this, right? But in reality, right, they're like, I'm helping, I'm lending a hand. But in reality, what you got yourself is nothing but leeches. Leeches that want to see you out the way. Let me see.
Copyright disclaimer under section 10. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch and getting that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch and getting that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one. Nowadays, your friends turn into enemies and your family members are your biggest haters. They see you accomplish more crazy is that they say as time pass by, it will heal everything. I seen time flash by and it revealed everything, leaving me on standby, ready to kill everything. Alone in the mirror saying, girl, you're everything. You don't need for anything, shorty. So if you haven't walked them all in my shoes, take a minute and listen so you can consume everything. Me and you are not the same, so make sure that when you cross me.
Yo, that's some real shit, yo. And that's how we be on here, man. Now we're gonna get to the messy versus zesty, right? What I don't seem to understand is how men, right, on here, right? And let me ask you a question, right, before I get into it, right? What do y'all think is more messy? Men or women? Who do y'all think come online and be messier? Men or women? Right? And let me ask y'all a question, right? Do y'all believe that there's a difference between a man being messy and a man being zesty? And if there is, what and why? Right? So what I'm going to say is, right, I don't seem to understand how men can come online and get zesty shit. Women come on here and get messy. So, right, listen, let's not get testy. What I want to know is if women, right, are the emotional creatures, right, and men are more level-headed, then what, right, if men are emotional, if women are emotional creatures, right, and men are supposed to be more level-headed, then what do you call the men that come on here and get messy at times and makes them look zesty? I don't have a problem with a man expressing themselves, right? What I do mind is a man going back and forth with a woman instead of walking away or, just leaving. Like, I just don't understand this back and forth between men and women. Women wanting to be men wanting to be women. Like, that shit right there, I don't know. It's getting tiring. Dealing with certain women, I know it's getting tired dealing with certain women, right, for men. But as men, right, and women, we need to choose carefully the company we keep around. So with that being said, I'm going to ask y'all some questions, and I would love to hear y'all perspectives on this topic. And let's get to, the discussion started. Let's see who's online with this, John. Blessings. We got Miss V in the house. I see a lot of bitch ass niggas. She said I see a lot of bands on here, yo. A bands will make you dance. Bands will make you dance. Shout out to Miss V. Make sure y'all go check out Miss V, yo. Great conversations, great topics, yo. She does have a crime podcast, and she is very motivational. I know she is somebody that's inspired. I need to get back on my crime shit. Like, we need to get back on our crime shit over here. For real. But make sure y'all go check out Miss V, yo. I love her channel. Oh, what did I do? I took myself off the screen. Damn, I don't know how I just did that, right? What make men come online and get, right, messy or zesty, right? Can y'all share a moment when being online let you express a side of yourself you rarely reveal in person? Right? Does this invite personal stories and this invites personal stories and underscores how digital space sometimes empower us to be more authentic. But is there a line between being messy and zesty? Like, can somebody explain to a shorty what is a messy man and what is a zesty man? Can y'all explain the differences between that, right? How do y'all think, right, the anatomy, right, of the internet enables men to experiment with more unfiltered, messy versions of themselves? This question examines whether online anonymity is a gateway to emotional or creative freedom. Are they just, unfiltered, messy versions of themselves, or do y'all feel as though they're on here showing the feminine side of themselves? Shit, okay. Oh, you welcome, Miss V. You welcome. I appreciate you, man. I really love your channel, and I think more people should go check it out, right? All right. Let me ask y'all this, right? In what ways have, online communities or forums given our men, right, the courage to express their zestiness side without fear of judgment, right? And do y'all find that connecting online allows them to drop the filters that y'all see offline, which means that them being online, right? Them being online lets them, show people another side of them that other people don't see offline. But my thing is, does that make them on the DL? I'm sitting here asking myself questions over and over again, like, oh. All right, let's get serious with the questions, though, right? What role do y'all think that humor plays in elevating the pressure to be perfect online? And are there particular genres of content or conversations that make the shift towards, rawness easier for people? Oh, my bad. I was on here trying something out. But yeah, like I've said, I've been on so many, panels on, these YouTube streams, whether it's here Facebook, Instagram. Well, I don't really be on Instagram. I was on TikTok a lot, but they took my TikTok away, right? Right. So, I mean, listen, man. How do y'all think, right? That how does being anonymous or semi-anonymous online make it easier to explore a zesty side of a man? And I'm not going to say a woman, because women, regardless, I mean, a lot of them come on here and they behave right, they ladylike, but for some reason, the men are coming on here, right? And they're being verbally messy. I did a live the other day, right? And I said it. Why do men come on here, right, and be messy or zesty, right? And I asked the same type of questions, almost similar questions, right? And then, we went into, DDG and Haley Bailey, right? Because what's crazy to me, I've never seen a man come online and use their son, their child, I'm gonna put it like that, their child as a tool, the way women have. Like that right there is something new to me. I'm also noticing men come on here, right? And they'll do that back and forth with men, start calling each other names. Like I haven't seen, there's a few that I've seen walk away. There's a few that I see that don't even engage. They say, fuck it. And these females be all in their fucking feelings. What's crazy is, right, growing up, I was told, ignore this person, right? When you ignore somebody, it gets them more infuriated. But people can't seem to do that online, right? So it's crazy how we're seeing more and more men come on here and behave like unstable creatures. I mean, I was told that men are supposed to be a little more level-headed than women, but I'm seeing that, it's a vice versa thing. So I don't know if this makes men on the DL and make, them be the type to hop on rainbows, right? But I don't think men should be so emotional, whether you're online or offline. I mean, I feel as though, listen, if you can walk away, walk away. There's no reason for you to sit there and have a whole argument with a woman. Like, and the women should know better. I don't even know why they come online and they want to sit here and bash men. They want to start fights with men and act like, nothing can happen back. You see where I'm coming from? Shit. A man's hand. Listen. I'm gonna make it as a joke. Don't take it, for all the serious, for all the straight men out here. Don't listen. Don't come down to shorty's neck. But shit, why can't a man's hands be bisexual at that moment? You want to act like a man, he should be able to treat your face like it's a, bag in the wall. It's hanging from the ceiling. I mean, I'm sorry, like you want to sit here and pretend like you're a whole man. I think you should get treated like a man. But hey, that's just the shorty's opinion, right? Do you think that, right, traditional ideas about masculinity affect how men behave online? How do y'all see those norms being challenged or upheld nowadays? And in today, I'm gonna put it like this: in today's society. I'm not gonna say nowadays. I'm gonna say in today's society because we're in 2025, and it's a big difference from that then. And I feel as though, like, right, trying to be traditional in this era is hard. But see, me personally, I'm not trying to fit in. I am very traditional, and I don't give a fuck who thinks, or how they feel about me. And it's true though, being traditional in this era is very hard. Like that's why I came up with this right here, and people don't seem to understand it. That's what, like, listening to people's stories, listening to everything that's going on around me. Like when I lost my father and everything, every time that he told a lie, his nose grew. It's just that, in real life, their noses don't grow. Karma. So yeah, like I was saying, right? I feel like, when I come on here, I be enjoying a lot of, platforms on this app. What sits me here and just, how can I say, leave, right? Like just leave the live or something like that would be when I start seeing men and women engage in roles they shouldn't, like they're sitting here and just flipping scrolls. Let's put it like that. Like that shit right there, it gets very tiring on this John. It's like, it ruins lives, it ruins panels. I don't know if certain content creators notice that, but the disrespect on panels, right? It is not fun, right? So I would love to ask one question, right? What do y'all think draws people, right, especially men, to get playful, chaotic, or even dramatic in online spaces, right? Like I was told, it is, being dramatic only a thing for women? Is it only, okay for men to do it when they're playing Hollywood scripts, Hollywood roles, right? When it comes to real life, are men allowed to be dramatic? Are they allowed to show, their little feminine side? right? Why is it okay for a woman to sit here and show her masculine side, but the man cannot show his little feminine side? He can't be soft for 1 second. So let's put it like that. So I don't want men to think I'm offending them or bashing them. That's not my intention, and that's not what we're here to do, right? Right? How do y'all think that online communities or social media platforms encourage men to be more unfiltered or experimental? And what I mean by that is that they'll come online and do things right or behave online the way, they won't at home or on these streets. I mean, women do it too. I mean, I think a lot of women come on here, right? And they're real soft outside, right? They won't even harm a fly, but you see them online, they ratchet, they cuss, and they doing this. I mean, but that makes you think, are they really like that? The same way they are online, offline? Do they let men disrespect them? Like, why do they go in the back and forth? Why do they want to sit here and feel so masculine? You see where I'm coming from? As a woman, I don't want to sit here and test myself against a man. What the fuck for? I'm not in competition with a man or a woman, but if anything, right, I'll be back and forth with a woman before I'm with a man. For what? What's the point? You see where I'm coming from? Like, I mean, this shit is just getting out of hand and out of pocket, right? And what's crazy is whether, as a man or a woman, right, they all both ask for opinions on this John. And when somebody expressed their opinion, right, they feel some type of way. Now they're a victim. Now they want to ride, now they want to run and hide behind somebody, ask for some support, for some defense, right? Like, oh, wait, this person just said, da 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 da. I'm sitting here, it's like, damn, how more and more people get involved in this shit. Online, right? When you're online, I really believe it's the devil's playground. Motherfuckers make you feel like you back in high school or kindergarten. Like, you gotta go, I don't even know who is the principal in certain situations or who's the mommy and daddy and others. For real, man. Let me ask you, how have cultural shifts in involving gender roles influenced the way men use social media or other online platforms? Because what's crazy is it's like more and more men, and I don't listen. I know when a man is on here being messy, right? But is it okay to be messy? When you're a man, especially online, sitting here stirring up trouble. You see where I'm coming from, right? Adding, taking off, certain conversations, and basically just stirring up trouble, creating drama. Is that only something that's for a woman? You see where I'm coming from? Like, do y'all think that being zesty online is a way to be vulnerable in a world that often tells men to hold back? And I would love to hear why y'all, think that or why not. Right? What trends or memes do y'all think encourage men to embrace a messy or more flamboyant side online? Let me ask you, see, and that right there, right? And I asked it like that because there's a difference between a man being messy to me and a man being zesty, flamboyant, feminine, very feminine online, right? And I've seen the difference between, these men on here. You just have to watch the behavior, observe how they carry themselves on here. It's crazy though, because sometimes it's like they're messy and flamboyant, but they scream, "I'm straight." So right there in them type of situations, I'm a little confused, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie, man. I gotta run to my baby pops and ask questions like, "What's up?" Like, why the men that I know are, out here are like this, but the men I see on here are like this? Why they behaving like that? Like, like. Like, it's crazy, right? Because you would think, right, if online spaces were free from judgment, how do you think, men's behavior and self-expressions might evolve? Do y'all really think that online spaces are really free from judgment? I don't really think so. I think people come on here, they bully, they bash, thinking there's no consequences behind their actions, right? Now, I want to read this to y'all, right? And these are some talking points, right, that I sat here and I'm listening to other people, right? I wrote down doing my research and much more, right? And I'm gonna read them to y'all, right? It says several societal factors can contribute to why men might embrace a messy or unfiltered persona in online spaces, right? One, changing gender norms. Traditional notions of masculinity, right? Socialism, control, and emotional restraint have been increasingly challenged in recent years. As society becomes more accepting of vulnerability and diverse expressions of masculinity, men may feel freer to explore sides of themselves that were once taboo, including chaotic or flamboyant behaviors. The internet becomes a stage for breaking those norms. Shit, Peter Pan was once a fairy tale. Now y'all tell me, right? Two, pressure to perform. The rise of social media has created a performance culture where everyone is encouraged to stand out. For men, this pressure may lead to exaggerated or unfiltered behaviors as a way to gain attention, likes, and engagement. Acting messy can be a deliberate strategy to remain relevant or memorable in highly competitive online spaces. Wait. So y'all telling me that that's something now that's part of being, masculine is being messy, right? Because what it says a strategy to remain relevant or memorable in highly competitive online spaces. What the fuck happened to picking up the gloves and going in the ring? I didn't know that men were supposed to be online competing with each other to see who's prettier, who's messier, who could create the biggest drama. Like, get the fuck out of here. Anyways, three, anonymity and risk taking, right? Online anonymity lowers the stakes for self expression. Men might feel more comfortable experimenting with a freer, messier version of themselves when there's minimal risk of judgment or long term consequences. This anonymity can act as a release valve for pent up emotions or repressed phases of their identity. What? Four, influence of pop culture and trends. Pop culture often glorifies chaotic, zesty, or over the top characters in movies, memes, or influences, which can influence how men choose to act online. Viral challenges, internet trends, and memes often encourage playful, impulsive behavior, normalizing what might otherwise be considered outlandish or messy. Okay, outlandish and messy, I get, but zesty? And then the combination of messy and zesty. This right here is kind of like, I don't know. I feel like, oh, right here, this is making an excuse for it, but maybe I'm tripping. All right, digital echo chambers. It says online platforms often create tight knit communities where specific behaviors and values are amplified. And man might find himself in a digital space where messiness, flamboyance, or exaggerated expression is celebrated and rewarded, reinforcing those actions and normalizing them. Well, listen, if you want to sit here and talk about you gangster, right, and behaving like this, I don't know, because I've never met anybody back then that was part of a gang that was, in the streets, and said, oh, I'm this and that in the streets, go online and, be wangster. You see where I'm coming from? I didn't know the two went hand in hand. They actually don't. They don't fit in that flamboyant shit either. But, I'm guessing, it's okay. Why? Because Tyler Perry made it okay. But maybe I'm tripping. Anyways, number 7, outlet for emotional expression. What the hell? Since many societies, they really saying it's okay. All men go hop on rainbows. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Just stay on the DL. What? Outlet for emotional expression. Since many societies still stigmatize men showing vulnerability. What is vulnerability though? See, one thing is right here. You see, men come on here and they talk about I'm a straight man, I'm an alpha, I'm this, I'm that. But in the same breath, you hear them going back and forth, with women. You hear them, you hear them asking for validation online. A real man is not going to sit here and ask for no validation. I listen, I don't know what their views, right, and what their definition of a real man is, a straight man, but a straight man is not going to come on here either and flirt with other men. A straight man is not going to come online, right, and pretend that he's hopping on rainbows if he's straight, or have rainbowish conversations like he's, how can I say it? What were they? Like he's a fucking Care Bear. Come on, man. Like, come on, let's be real. Man, I've seen men, protect women. I've seen them defend women. You see where I'm coming from? But come on, you're telling me that they have to behave like women to get validated? They have to come on here and create drama amongst themselves like, women with women? I don't see that shit out here in real life, only on social media. And the crazy part is that our kids, right, that are being born in this era are born with phones, iPads, and computers and laptops attached to their hips. Half of cyborgs. This shit is crazy. Since many societies still stigmatize men showing vulnerability, the digital realm becomes a safer space to process emotions. Messy online behaviors ranging from oversharing to outrageous humor can sometimes be a mask for deeper emotions that they find difficult to express elsewhere. So let me ask you a question. A man that comes on here, right, and starts, wishing death on, minors, and starts, wishing the grave of little kids, or start wishing that somebody would unalive somebody's child. Y'all still saying that that's a way of expressing themselves? I feel as though they belong in an asylum, in a mental institution. They need some type of help. They need some type of treatment for their mental health. But maybe I'm tripping, right? So let's move on, to question number 7. Listen, I'm just going on with the questions, right? I'm reading this, and then I'm gonna start asking some questions. I mean, this is not questions, my bad. These are, oh my God. This shit is crazy. Woo! Number 8, gamification of online presence, right? Social media and digital platforms often gamify behavior with likes, shares, and comments as rewards. Men might lean into chaotic or extreme behavior because it grabs attention and wins engagement. This reinforces the idea that messiness equals success in the online world. And that's why half of them, y'all seen how many, of these people that are online doing this type of things are either in a coffin or behind bars, have burnt bridges. They don't have channels no more because they have been terminated because they have gone overboard. I mean, the women are doing it too, though. It's a vice versa thing. That's why I said, look, listen, I don't know why men come online, right, and they act zesty, right, but women come on here and get messy too, so let's not get testy. And I don't get tired of saying that shit. For real, for real. So if that's what they all here for, that's on them. I'm guessing that's little boys, right? They haven't grown up yet. They're, how can I say, they're vessels, right? They're man bodies, right, with little boys inside of them. That's what it is. Their brains haven't fully developed yet, even if they're in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, right? When y'all think of men being zesty online, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it humor, boldness, or something else? When men come on here zesty, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? I don't know if it's boldness or something else. But to me, it is not humor. It is not fun. It's not comedy. To me, it's something else. They want to express something they cannot express elsewhere, which means offline. I think they're on the L, no matter how many times they say they're not. How do y'all think social media platforms encourage or discourage men from being their unfiltered selves? I mean, I've seen a lot of men hold themselves on here, right? They don't care what people think of them, and I don't see them trying to, pretend to be something else or somebody else for, to get any attention or, to get a message across. See, those are the people that are on here, trying to get validation, hiding something, pretending to be something that they're not, just to get the attention from others. Those right there, those that are looking for validation online are the ones that make me question a lot. And I'm going to be very honest, right? Do y'all think that men feel freer to express emotions or quirky sides online? Why or why not? I feel as though they do, because offline they will get, like Hassan Campbell says, their snot boxes rocked off their face, for real, for real. So with that being said, What do y'all think, what role do y'all think, online communities or trend play in shaping how men behave online? Can you think of a time when a trend sparked some zestiness in some man that you know? I mean, I can. Can I go into details? No. Because people go on board with this shit. Like, listen, man, I can't understand it. It turns my stomach. I don't know how men can come on here. Listen, the first time, you know, I heard of a man, being, intimate with another man, I was over here like in my head, like, what the fuck? Is that possible? How can that happen? I was like, wait, they got two, baseballs. Like, what the fuck? They gonna be hitting each other's bats? It's like a woman. Like, what the fuck? They over here smacking each other's clitorises. How the fuck is that even possible? You know what? I stopped when they gave me the answer. I was like, you know what? I don't want to know no more than what I just heard. I'm good. I don't get this shit. I really don't. So, does being anonymous online create a safe space for men to be more messy, or do y'all think it removes accountability for what the balance truly is? And I think that they come on here, right, being very extra messiness, very flamboyant, very zesty, and that's true. To not take, accountability. They'll pretend, they'll say things out their mouth, right, and then turn around, right, when somebody says something, and they don't want to be gangster. I'm saying it's like, y'all know how wankster y'all sound, just like 50 Cent and his song said. Fuck out of here. Y'all fucking saying y'all gangsters, but in reality, y'all wanksters. Y'all need to go sit your fucking, you know what, Rachel? No, don't start. In what ways have, evolving gender norms changed how men express themselves in digital spaces? Do y'all think that, since people have learned more and more about the LGBT community, men have felt more comfortable to do the things that they do online? And what is the most, creative or unexpected way you've seen a man express his personality online? I feel as though that men could come on here and express, right, bring awareness and stuff like that. What I do have a problem, like I said earlier, is the men that come on here, right, that can't seem to find a way to walk away from a woman's drama, from a woman's bullshit. He indulges in it. He engages in it. You see where I'm coming from? Like, if you want to be respected, walk away from that shit. Don't stay in the middle of that shit. Because at the end of the day, I'm sitting here, I was like, damn, is there two females on the panel or is it one? You see where I'm coming from? It comes to a point in time where you hear these men screaming and over talking to women. I'm sitting here like, well, now you're turning around and doing the same thing this bitch is doing. So it's kind of like, wait, it, you know, is you looking for validation too, just like the females doing? Because a lot of women coming on here, and yes, they are doing it for validation. So shout out to these women on here that are not, being messy online, that are actually on here carrying themselves the way a woman should carry, themselves. They are not trying to flip the scripts, right? And trying to be men, trying to portray they could be stronger than a man, or trying to pretend that they Mike Tyson, biting off another man's ear in the ring. So shout out to the women that know that they're women, right? That know how to behave ladylike when they have to. Shit. Why do y'all think humor is such a big part of men's unfiltered online behavior? Is it a shield or is it just a way to connect? Listen, there's a thing of being funny. There's a thing of being being a comedian online. But a lot of these men on here, for example, the men that are come on here and they start, disrespecting women, right? Because they feel some type of way because a woman gave, their, how can I say, their opinion, expressed how they felt. Now they start calling them out their names, or they start wishing death, or they start talking about pulling up on females, and that right there, there's no respect towards that man. He is very flamboyant. Want to sit here and fight a woman for real. Listen, I'm glad that my baby pops came across my life because he has taught me a lot of things. Had it. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta look for something. Turn the light on real quick. All right. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave it at that with these questions, right? Well, all right, my bad. I'm gonna leave it like that with these questions, and do what I gotta do real quick. I appreciate y'all for y'all time. Those things here, man, because y'all listen. Y'all could have been anywhere else today, but y'all chose to rock out with a shorty today. Have this conversation with a shorty. And, on that note, I want to say thank you. Till next time, the shorty out. But, leave y'all comments down below. Let a shorty know what y'all think and how y'all feel, right? And let's get these topics started. Let's get the conversation going. In the face of darkness, I stand tall and strong. With faith as my shield, I'll keep marching on. You may try to break